Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 13.13. The chapter which we are related with is leverage and capital structure, managerial finance book, and Lawrence Gitman, the writer. Right now we are discussing capital structure and the impact of different changes over capital structure. As you have seen in previous questions, we have taken introduction of capital structure. There are two basic categories in which a capital can be divided. First is equity financing, and then we can have debt financing. If whole of the capital structure is financed through own or internal sources, it is called equity financing. It may have common stock, it may have preferred stock, it may have retained earning. In other case, if you are getting your finance through debt, it might be a loan, it might be a debt, it might be debentures, or it might be bonds. All these categories are the accumulation of finance through debt. And here we have different sort of situations where you can get your equity financing. Common stock, when you have given or allotted your shares to common public who are responsible to face loss and eligible to get profits as well. Preferred stock with special or specific condition as compared to the common stock. So what will happen after every outside payment, remaining amount which is our profit would be distributed among preferred shareholder first, and if still we have the amount present in our balance, we will distribute that balance to the common stock. Now you can understand preferred stock will be having their amount of dividend first, preferably first, and then if balance is present in our profit loss account, that amount can be distributed to common shareholders. Retained earning means we are not distributing our profit to common stock holders, and we are not distributing our profit to preferred stockholders. Rather, with permission of these two, this profit would be retained into the business so that it can be used in future business operations. Simple manner you will understand. Then finance is not introduced by shareholders. Loan would be taken from public or from any other source upon which there would be a fixed amount of interest paid to the debenture holders, and here profit and loss sharing is the key factor related to equity financing. Alright, let's go back to the question. We have to calculate financial leverage, for which we have different formulas. As earlier it has been discussed, what we are going to do, degree of financial leverage is needed to be calculated. For that you have change in EPS and divided by change in EBIT. With this you can calculate your formula. These are two factors which would be involved in calculation of degree of financial leverage. So hopefully you have seen these formulas earlier as well. Right now just try to understand what is meaning of EPS and EBIT. If you want to write the formula, what you will do, simple change we need. Actually triangle will represent change. Over here you can write change in EBIT, and that would be divided by change in EPS. So simple, this is your formula to calculate your degree of financial leverage. Now there is another way to calculate your degree of financial leverage. You can call it other formula. Same degree of financial leverage would be calculated. Earning or simple EBIT, and it would be divided by earning after, okay, full length, earning after interest before tax. So this is another formula for degree of financial leverage, and yet another formula can be used if you have preferred dividend. So then what you will do, EBIT as usual, you will divide it with earning after interest, or you can calculate it EBIT minus interest. So I was actually going to write earning after interest. So amount which you will get after subtracting interest from EBIT is actually the earning after interest. And then again you will subtract what? Preferred dividend, and that would be divided by 1 minus tax rate. Okay, these are three formulas which you will have to keep in your mind, and these formulas will surely be very helpful in calculating of degree of financial leverage. So first, simple change in EBIT divided by change in earning per share. Secondly, what you will do, EBIT would be divided by earning after interest but before tax. And if preferred dividend is also present in your question, simply you will divide EBIT by EBIT minus interest minus bracket start preferred dividend divided by 1 minus tax. So in this way, you will be able to calculate your degree of financial leverages. Different ways are prescribed over here, and we will surely be discussing everything again and again. In last few questions, we have used this formula, change in EBIT divided by change in EPS, and that can be used over here as well. And here there is another formula, second formula, and that can also be used in this question. And if preferred dividend, third formula will be the best option. Okay, come over here. Now here we will be calculating our requirement, and what we are going to do, calculate degree of financial leverage. And over here you have these three formulas, degree of financial leverage. For the time being, we will focus upon this second formula, earning before interest and tax divided by earning after interest but before tax. After interest but before tax. Okay, another feature over here is when you will go to the question, you won't find tax. Look over here, you can read your question from here to here. Amount of tax or rate of tax is not available. Please read it down. You may take your minute, you can stop your lecture and search if tax rate is given. So tax is not available. So what we will do, there can be another formula which is for degree of operating leverage. EBIT you will use, and you will divide it by EBIT minus interest, and that's all. Actually these are same formulas. In case if you have your tax, then calculation would be little different. You will use this formula. And if let's say preferred dividend is not present in your question, this whole bracket would be vanished, unnecessary to be written over here. So what formula would we have? EBIT divided by EBIT minus interest. Same formula I have written over here. So actually these are same formulas, but condition is it can be used when there are more than one statements are present in our question. You can see we have different statements in this question. We can use first formula or second formula can also be used. For the time being, we will be focusing upon our income statement, and full length income statement would be made at first. We need our EBIT, earning before interest and tax. Then you will subtract your interest amount of interest. Okay, and then you will have earning after interest but before tax. All right, with which what will happen, you are now open to calculate your earning after interest after tax. There you will calculate your tax, and this would be calculated by earning after interest before tax. I have written AIBT, just abbreviation of this, after interest before tax, and then you will multiply it with tax rate, with which you will get your tax. Finally, you will be able to get earning after interest and after tax. For what you will do, you will subtract this amount of tax. Let's write down less tax, and you will get your earning after interest after tax. So next step would be to subtract preferred dividend, and this dividend would be calculated upon earning after interest and after tax. Finally, you will have your net earning. This way statement would be completed. Over here, let's start with our question again. What we do have is require a monthly payment of 1000. He had taken loan, and upon that loan 1000 had been paid. He needs to purchase a new car and estimate that he will add $350 per month. So initial expense of Max Small was he had an outstanding loan. There is a loan and periodic payment of 1000 after each month he has to make. And he wants to buy another car or a car for which $350 per month would also be paid. It means right now $1000 is his total expense, and if he is buying car, his expense would increase from 1000 to 1350 per month. Max will have 3000 available after meeting all his monthly operating expenses. You can call it its earning, since it's personal financial problem. Personal mean it's not an organization, it's not a company, so you will not be having these terminologies used over here. So we will use indirectly these terms. 3000 available for after meeting all monthly living expenses. It means when you will subtract all of your operating expenses, you get earning before interest and before tax, EBIT. So we will consider this 3000 as our EBIT. This amount could vary by plus or minus 10%. To assess the potential impact additional borrowing, that means this 350 is additional borrowing. Calculate degree of financial leverage in tabular form for both the current and proposed loan, no, loan payment. That means in first option, you will not take the loan for car, and second option, you will take the loan for the car as well. Again, listen. In first option, we will only consider periodic payment of first loan, and we will not consider the option of buying car. In second option, first loan would be present, and secondly, car loan would also be included in his periodic payments. Practically, when we will do, you will understand it in a better way. Okay, just now consider what we have. This 3000 would be considered as EBIT because it's an income after payment of all operating expenses. And these are two options. Either we will consider 1000 loan payment, or we will consider 1350 collectively two payments. And secondly, look over here, max available income is 3000 as base, and a 10% change, what does that mean? Look over here, could vary by plus or minus 10%. In this way, we will be making three different income statements. Kindly consider first income when there is no change of EBIT, 3000 as income. Now go back to the question and you will see that his simple loan payment is 1000. Over here it has been written interest, so we will consider it loan payment. Obviously it include interest as well. At this stage you can calculate your earning after interest but before tax. How would you calculate that? By subtracting your interest from EBIT. So EBIT at this stage is 3000 and you will subtract amount of interest. So this way you will get your earning after interest but before tax. Now kindly keep it in mind, at this stage there is no tax rate mentioned in the question and there is no preferred dividend in the question. So it means tax rate is 0 and your preferred dividend is also not present in your question. In this way your final income would directly be calculated as no tax is present and no preferred stock is present. So in this way your earning after interest before tax would also be your earning after interest after tax. And as you come to know that there is no preferred dividend as well, same income would be present downward as well. So in this way your net earning has been calculated. Okay. From here you can calculate your degree of operating leverage as well without using your EPS or earning per share. Here you can calculate your earning per share as well, which is EPS, earning per share. And for this what you will do, you have to see your net earning, and this net earning would be divided by common shares. And why I was saying we do not need to calculate EPS, because this is personal financial plan and obviously a single person cannot issue shares. So in this way your earning per share would not be calculated, so it would you can leave it. Now degree of financial leverage, we have several options to calculate degree of financial leverage. Over here you can see that there are 4 formulas we have arranged. By the way, all 4 formulas are absolutely same, but we are using second formula for calculation of degree of financial leverage. Okay, come over here and you can calculate your degree of financial leverage, for which what you will do, you need to have your EBIT and that would be divided by earning after interest but before tax. So 2 earnings are needed. This is your formula, simple, and here you need to see if you have your earning before interest and tax, that means 3000 is what your EBIT, and you need to divide it earning after interest but before tax. Look over here, earning after interest before tax is 2000. This way you have completed your formula for degree of financial leverage, and here you can calculate its answer 3000 and that would be divided by 2000. We have got 1.5. Over here there are 3 answers you can see over, but we have calculated only one, the base answer. As you can see that it was set to make your base 3000 And the question which we have solved is with the earning of 3000 and 1.5 is your degree of financial leverage. In this way, this income statement has been completed for first option. Now for second option, what we will do, I will use same headings present over here for income statement. Here you can confirm that what we have done. 3000 EBIT for single loan payment of 1000. Okay, now again we will be making another income statement for second option. Income statement we are needed to make with what will happen, 10% increase in income. We are going to make 10% increase in EBIT with loan only and no car. So this is your second statement. Kindly make your understanding well. Over here what we will do, we will change it and we'll make a new income statement. Okay, the first thing first is 10% increase in EBIT. Why we are doing this? Look over here. 3000 is your EBIT and this amount could vary by plus or by minus 10%. So what second statement is about, we are going to make an income statement with 10% increase in EBIT. Old EBIT was 3000 and we will increase. To increase we will add what? 10%. So 3000 multiplied by 10 divided by 100. In this way what you will do, your level of EBIT would be increased by 10%. Amount of interest would not be changed, it will remain 1000. Here you can calculate earning after interest by subtracting interest from EBIT. Your EBIT was 3300 and you will subtract 1000 amount of interest. You have got your earning after interest before tax. Tax is 0. So same income would also be the income after interest after tax. Since preferred dividend is not present in your question, it means you can put it 0. Alright, just I need a minute. Light had gone. Actually, we have to settle. Okay, so 0 would be preferred dividend and your net earning would remain same 2300. So guys, we have calculated net earning for the second option and here we will use the formula for degree of financial leverage. For to calculate degree of financial leverage, we have this formula. Net earning or earning per share would not be calculated. Here we will change the formula. What we need, earning before interest and tax, that is 3300, and you will divide it earning after interest but before tax. Earning after interest before tax is 2300. Statement is completed. Now we can put it on our calculator. 3300 divided by 2300. So we have got our second answer 1.4. Go back to the question and you have got your second answer 1.4. In the similar way, we have created income statement with plus 10% and now we will create an income statement with 10% decrease. So you will take this statement as a whole for our C part. Okay, it's not taking merged cell. That's the problem sometimes we have to face. Okay, and here you will make your income statement And heading, guess what we are going to change its heading. Instead of 10% increase, we will decrease 10% in EBIT. These amounts are for the time being not needed. Let's remove them. Okay, so 10% decrease. Original EBIT was 3000 and you need to subtract 10%. So 3000 multiplied by 10 divided by 100. Please note it down what we are going to do. 10% decrease in EBIT. This is our third option. So we have got our EBIT. Go back to the question and read what we are doing. Only we are using these three options. 3000 original payment plus 10% or minus 10%. In first option, we haven't changed our EBIT. It remains same 3000. In second option, we have increased 10%. And now third option, we are going to decrease it by 10% and it has 2700. Let me mark it that this is your statement. From here, next part is starting. That is why I'm just making a little difference. Heading is now easily be recognized. So first, second and third option we have reached. Amount of interest would remain same as 1000 is mentioned in the question. You can now calculate earning after interest before tax. After interest means you will have to deduct your interest from EBIT. Amount of EBIT 2700, amount of interest is 1000. You have got 1700 as your earning after interest. Since there is no tax, so same amount of earning would be after interest after tax. No preferred dividend is present. It means your final or net earning will remain 1700. Earning per share cannot be calculated, as you can see that it's a personal question of single person, single individual. So what does that mean? Number of shares would not be available, so no need to calculate earning per share. Degree of financial leverage can be calculated. Here what we need is EBIT and it would be divided by earning after interest before tax. EBIT for third part is 2700 and you need to divide it with, just hold on, divided earning after interest and before tax. After interest, before tax, your income is 1700. Statement has been completed. Now we can calculate it. 2700 divided by 1700. So we have got our third answer 1.6, around 1.588. It can be considered 1.6. So here your three answers are completed where we have used only first option where we can change our EBIT or income 3000 minus 10% and plus 10%. These three options were used to calculate degree of financial leverage. Now second option would be used where we are asked to take the loan or not to take the loan. So second option we will use. Initially in these three elements what we have done, this amount of loan was totally neglected and now we will use it. Instead of 1000, total monthly expenditures would be 1350. Alright, so again what we will do, we will hire these headings and will change accordingly according to requirement of our question. Will completely be used for next calculation. Here you will change your statement. EBIT will remain 3000 but single payment of loan 1000 and you will add amount of car as well. So please consider that your EBIT will remain same 3000 first option, but you have taken the car as well, $350 payment. So what would happen over here? Your EBIT would remain same 3000 but amount of interest would be changed. You have to pay amount of car as well. 1000 is amount of loan, and now car payment 350 would also be added. In this way, our amount after interest or before tax would be altered, for which what you will do, you will subtract interest from EBIT. 3000 is amount of EBIT, and you will subtract 1350 amount of interest, accumulated interest, including car and loan. Here you can mention over here loan, and where is and car. 1000 was amount of loan and 350 was payment of car. In this way, your expense has been increased from 1000 to 1050. Obviously, now your earning after interest and after tax would be 1650, because there is no payment of tax, and since there is no payment of provident of preferred dividend as well, so 1650 would be your net earning. Now to calculate degree of financial leverage, you need EBIT, which is 3000. Let's mention it 3000, and you need to divide it with earning after interest, which is 1650. Statement has been completed. Now we are open to put this statement on our calculator. So we have got 1.8. Go back to the question. Look over here. First answer has arrived 1.8. This is 1.7 and 2. First answer we have calculated 1.8. Okay, guess now the third option. Let me handle first. We have three parts of A. So over here, this was your first statement, and this is A first part. Okay, and then A second part was solved, after which this is your third statement. A third part you have solved, and now we are going to solve A fourth part, where what we will do, where what we have done, your EBIT was same, but you have accumulated or added the amount of payment of car as well. Now we have calculated degree of financial leverage as well. Now these heading would be used for our fifth part. Let's copy, and here you will be using it, and that is not being used directly. Okay, so we will use it individually first. This is your heading. Let's go back and try to write down this statement as well. Okay, now here changes would be made. We will change this EBIT by 10%. So for this 10% change, how we had made previous headings. Okay, instead of this EBIT, you are going to change it 10% increase in EBIT. Now read it carefully. 10% increase in EBIT, loan of payment of loan 1000, and car payment 350. So let's increase it by 10%. 3000 was original EBIT, and we need to increase. To increase, we will add what? 10%. So 3000 multiplied by 10 divided by 100. In this way, your EBIT has been increased. Look, these are very simple things which we are calculating actually. But since sometimes length can disturb you, it is basically the length for which you will have to be very cool, very calm, and very understandable. A fifth part is going to be solved over here. So A part of A was having 6 parts. A second part and A fifth part right now we are doing. Over here, what you will do, you will calculate your earning after. Look over here, loan and car is added. EBIT has been changed, 10% increase. Here you can calculate your earning after interest before tax by subtracting interest from EBIT. Amount of EBIT is 3300 and you will subtract 1350 amount of interest. You have got earning after interest before tax. But tax is 0. So same amount 1950 would be your amount of earning after interest after tax. No preferred dividend is present in your question. So it means 1950 would also be your net earning. After which you are now open to calculate your degree of financial leverage. Same formula you are using, EBIT, which is earning before interest and tax 3300, and you need to divide it earning after interest before tax. Earning after interest before tax, that is 1950. Statement is completed. You can put it on your calculator. 3300 divided by 1950. Alright, we have got our next answer 1.7. Go back and look at here. This is 1.7. Your fifth answer has been calculated and A fifth part was solved over here, and now we will calculate our last sixth part, A sixth, for which what we will do, now you can see that this much time has been taken even we are using the copy paste method, otherwise it was having more time consumption. Okay guys, here what you will do, instead of increase you will use 10% decrease in EBIT. These amounts are now not required. Let's delete them. EBIT decrease, original EBIT was 3000. To decrease we will have to subtract how much? 10% of this EBIT. 3000 multiplied by 10 divided by 100, and we need to subtract one bracket. So we have got our new EBIT, but beside that, loan payment and amount of car both would be included. So it would be 1350, 1000 amount of loan and 350 amount of payment of car. Total payment you have written. Now you can calculate earning after interest before tax. For that you will subtract your interest from EBIT. 2700 is your EBIT and subtract 1350 of your amount of interest. We have calculated earning after interest before tax, but there is no tax. So same amount would be considered as your earning after interest after tax. No preferred dividend is present. It means your 1350 would also be considered as your net earning. Now final degree of financial leverage would be calculated, for which we need EBIT, that is 2700, and you need to divide it with earning after interest before tax. This is earning after interest before tax, which is 1350. So finally it's time to calculate 2700 divided by 1350. This way we have got our answer 2. And you can see we have answer 2. 6 answers of A part has been calculated. Look what we have done. First we have changed our EBIT, simple 3000 plus 10% and less 10, while with only single option of 1000. These three options were completed in this way, and second option 3000 plus 10% minus 10% with total payment of car as well, 1000 and 350. This way 6 answers we have calculated. First answer 1.5, second answer 1.4, third answer 1.6, fourth answer 1.8, and fifth answer 1.7. Then we have eighth answer 2. Sorry, sixth answer 2. In this way, all six answers were calculated. Look over here. This is first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth answer. All answers were matched as well with these answers. And now let's see what B is saying. Can Max afford the additional loan payment? Okay, answer is very simple. In all methods you see we have earnings. Look over here. This is your first part and your net earning is positive 2000. This is your second part. Your net earning is positive 2300. This is your third part, positive earning of 1700. Fourth part, positive earning of 1650. A line is needed to be put over here. Fourth part, positive earning 1650. Fifth part, positive earning 1950. Again, a line is needed. Let me put over here. And then final sixth part, positive earning 1350. So what you have your conclusion? No matter whatever is happening, you are earning. You are not facing loss. It means overall scenario which was asked over here, can Max afford the additional loan payment? So simply you can say yes, because even after adding this 350 in with 1000, you still are able to earn. You are still earning. It means when you are not facing loss and you are earning, it would be considered affordable. So you can afford it. Should Max take on additional loan payment? And obviously he can afford it, he may take it, but it depends upon person to person. Let's say if a person wants to have a lush income or current income instead of payment for car, so it may be decided in a different way. Or if someone will prefer to have a car, obviously it is in his range, and after payment of this car, even after payment of this car, he does have amount in excess or surplus or profit. It means he can afford it, he can use it, and yes, the answer of these both B and C can be said as yes. In this way, our question has been completed. We have, at least I have enjoyed as well. Why? Because lengthy questions sometimes it's a test of your temperament. It is a simple test of your compatibility. Sometimes you will not be able to focus for the lengthy question. We have solved 6 parts. All what I was willing to share is these are absolutely live lectures. No editing, no pause, no intervals. So these are direct questions, and without any change, without any interruption, without any editing, all answers were accurate and according to your book standard. So over here, I wish when my students or the businessman which are listening to this, I wish they can solve their business problems or examination problems just like this, without editing, without interruption, exact answers. I wish my listeners can do the same. Okay, now please take a screenshot over here. You have these three formulas. In any question, whenever you want to have degree of financial leverage, you can use these formulas I have highlighted. Please take a screenshot, and this would be very useful for you in calculation of degree of financial leverage. Actually, these are same formulas. In absence of preferred dividend, when preferred dividend is not present in your question, you can simply do this formula. Or this formula, EBIT divided by earning after interest before tax, is exactly same over here. Obviously, when you will use EBIT minus interest, it is after interest but before tax. So these are same formula, just for the convenience you can use them. And since change in EPS is possible only when we have different options in our questions. So let's get back to the question. We have solved 6 parts and B and C were theoretical portions where we have said in general answer we can give that yes, this person Max Small can have the car option as well, and he can take additional loan payment because even after taking additional loan he is getting profit. I have shown you that each part, like A1 was having profit, B1 A2 was having 23 earning, AC3 was having earning 1700. Now you can see here you have added the amount of loan for car as well. So your expense has been increased from 1000 to 1350. Still you are able to earn 1650, 1950 and 1350. You have seen in all of the options you are getting your earning. So that is why we are suggesting that Maxwell can afford and Maxwell can take additional loan. 13.13 has been completed. All 6 answers are matched over here as well. It means question has been completed, but solution is available, answers are available, review is available. Even then, if you were feeling any difficulty in understanding any of part of the question, you are very open to ask your queries, your question through messages, text, or you can directly meet and ask your question. I will surely be available to answer your question instantly. For the time being, 13.13 has been ended. We surely be meeting soon again for the solution of any other question in future. So up till then, please take care of yourself, and I'm requesting you to please pray for me, and an additional request to solve this problem for 4 to 5 times individually. Thank you very much for your time. It's time to say goodbye. Allah Hafiz.